And we're back with another episode. Joe, Mike, 34, boys.
34.
Episode 34. Got lots to talk about today, including a 500 split this past weekend, Joe.
Wasn't very good. How the guys play?
But
after 8 practices, Friday night, okay. There was a lot of things that we did okay. Nothing well. You're not going to do anything well. You know what? We did penalty kill well.
I was. Did you watch the games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did penalty kill well.
Yeah, I would go with that.
The rest of it, and then Saturday night was really disappointed because we had some guys that just didn't want to work, whether they were tired or whether out of shape. I mean, it's early in the year, but that was the nuts and bolts of Saturday night. So
yeah,
I not really too fretting over too much, just because it's early. I know that I probably might have some trouble scoring goals, but our goaltending, along with our defense, and we're very comfortable with it. We get German back Monday.
So he's back Monday.
Yeah, he's back Monday. He'll be back. He'll be ready to play for the showcase.
That's good.
And he could possibly be the best D in the league. So he's going to help, but it's not going to solve our issues with our forward group, and that's going to be time and maybe of a couple of additions, or maybe just an addition through subtraction.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's obviously a long season. That's why we play the games. You're not winning anything in the opening weekend.
No.
Going 500, I think you and I talked that was decent, right? Like prior to going into it.
Yes.
Watching the game, watching on NATV, it's frustrating anyway because it's different. It's a lot slower, it looks sloppier than when you're there. And it's easy to cherry pick a lot of stuff. But there was a lot of things that could have been done better, penalty-wise.
Took a lot of stupid penalties.
I'm all
a lot of practice.
I'm all for the fighting, right? I enjoy it. I don't think anybody in here doesn't. What bothers me is two things. When you're going to square off, you sit there, you drop your stuff, and you take 5 minutes to actually grab it and go. That's the one part that I don't like. Second part is referees, let them go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Mengele or whoever it was, who was it?
Kibble
on the second fight. They took forever to grab. You know what I mean? And yeah, I guess the referees have a job to do, and it's in the rules that they got it. They can't. I'm not saying it was a staged fight, but just grab and go.
Lawson Kimball is a phenomenal kid, and he's tough as they come. Very willing. Comes from a hockey family. His dad played the game in the National Hockey League as a heavyweight, and obviously he's been very well taught and schooled in the game and been around the game his whole life. The Friday night fight, I think he obliged the kid because I think at that time we were out playing them.
Yeah.
And he obliged the kid, and it was fine. There's nothing. But I'm looking at it like that kid's playing really well, and I only dressed 6 defensemen. So we had a little chat after the game, and I said, listen, you can do this as often as you want.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Like I'm not against it, but you have to understand when and when not to. And I said, so if you're going to do it regularly, you got to let me know because I'm going to dress 7 defensemen. Yeah. So Saturday I dressed 7 defensemen, and I was really like, at the time that went to happen, we didn't need it. Like they progressively got better and we progressively got worse. But when that happened, well, then I'm frustrated after it because it's like, now you didn't fight. Now you're in the box for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So when I came down to the referee, I came down and stood by the door, and I'm like, just give them 2 minutes. Give both of them 2 minutes for delay game.
Yeah.
And he gives them 12. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, what did that hurt? So it was a delay game. That's all it was. It wasn't 12 minutes worth of a penalty to sit a kid in the stands, regardless of circumstance. Like, the penalties are just I don't know. I agree with you, is what my point is with this.
Do you have any rules or feelings about fighting on the road versus at home? Or all the same to you?
My thing about fighting is,
let's go.
Yeah, is there's I was always somebody I was very willing, but I wanted it to be out of emotion. Mm-hmm. I didn't want it to be staged.
Yeah.
If you're angry with somebody, you can be angry from the previous game, and that's not a stage fight. That's still anger. That's still emotion.
It's real.
And it's real. And that's what I want fighting to be in hockey. I want it to be real.
Yeah.
So I don't care when it happens. I don't care about the score. I just want it to be real. If somebody's knocking on you going, hey, we're down 3-1, and I know the rules. I've been around the game long enough to know that you oblige that guy. Well, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. We're up 3-1. We don't need this fight. We want to fight on my time and through out of the will of it. So there's parts of it where I really don't care. I just want it to be real. I don't want it to be, hey, can you help me out here? Like I can remember my buddy played in Dallas and he was playing with not Grant Marshall, and they were teammates. And then the other gentleman who was playing struggled. And then I was in Toronto one night watching Dallas and Toronto play, and he was this other, I'm forgetting his name, was on the other team, and he didn't get many shifts. So then all of a sudden it's late in the game, Dallas is up by a few goals, and he just says to him, hey, man, to my buddy, he says, hey, you want to go? Like, try to keep me here. Well, they did. And that I understand that, right? But that's different. I want to stay in this league, and I got to do something other than, hey, I'm going to try and get momentum for my team, and it's 3 or 4-1. I don't agree with that. Yeah. Like I fight on your own time. Like what do we need? Not what do they need? That's more. So.
Is there ever a good time either way, right? Like that's the argument, right?
Yeah. Well, the penalty. What I've been through, and as you have, right? We went through the 92 lockout. Yeah. We went through the 04 lockout. Went through the 12 lockout, and every time they've come back with new rules. And I remember 92. My first year junior was 89. It was a long time ago. And
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, yours was 89, right?
I think
89, 90. So we remember that. I mean, you were literally you'd be skating down the ice, and somebody would just grab you and start teeing off on you, and you might get 2 for roughing. So then they brought in
or a double minor.
Yeah, right. Then they brought in the instigator rule. So we all thought, hey, this is going to change. It didn't change hockey at all. So then we get to 04, and then they change it again. Mm-hmm. And we think, okay, it's going to change. Okay? None of the rules have changed fighting until the 15-minute penalty.
Yeah.
None of them. Everything that hockey did to change the rules did nothing.
And I just
to curb it until 15 minutes.
15 minutes for a fighting. Yeah. Like, come on.
Takes the guy out of the game.
You're done.
Pretty much.
Well, I remember my longest. I got in a fight with under 5 minutes to go in Johnstown one night, my first year. It was the longest penalty of my life. Okay, I got 17 minutes. I just kept altered game. I got 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting, and 10-minute misconduct for whatever I did. And then there was an intermission. But when the penalty fell at the end of the period, and the intermission and the penalty, it was a 47-minute penalty.
Yeah, it's insane.
It was all when it was all said and done. Yeah. And I got back to the bench with like 8 minutes to go, and I'm like, dude, don't put me back.
Probably going to get hurt.
Yeah, like, don't put me back out there, man. Like, I just, but that 15-minute where now you have a guy on the end of your bench, call him a bookend, something respectful. Not that bookend is, but he's the only guy that can do it.
Yeah.
Because now when you and I played, or older, you had the heavy, but you had the middleweight.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Rick Tocchet and the Wendell Clarks that could really play the game. Yeah. Well, now, do you want Wendell Clark or Rick Tocchet to sit in the penalty box for 17 minutes? No, you don't. You want him on 5 minutes? Hey, that's no biggie.
Yeah, 5 is good.
5's fine. Yeah. That's only a shift and a half, really, right? Maybe 2, for a middleweight, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like he's your top guy. But the 15-minute penalty for me as a coach totally eliminated everything that I originally thought fighting was. Yeah. And so now it's turned into being real. Yeah. I don't want any of the garbage. I shouldn't. That's the wrong word. Garbage is not the right word. I don't want any of the antics because the penalties are too long. Yeah. You're out of the game. So like Lawson Kimball has played really well for us. He's on his third chance in this league, and that night we missed him. Yeah. And I'm going to say that's probably the first coach that's ever said that about Lawson Kimball. But I'm really happy with what he's doing for us right now, and I think he can get better. I think he can be a 5'6" defenseman for us and be a stalwart. And if he needs to do that, do it. And right now, he just wants to. Wants to do. Like he got in a fight yesterday in practice. Awesome fight, but you got him in 3 fights in the last 4 days.
That's good. That's good. Well, what's your take, Mikey? Like you said, the home and away fight. Obviously, you have an opinion on that.
I don't have necessarily an opinion. I have a set of rules that were given to us when we played, and through Herm. And the rules were pretty much, unless you were our heavy, the guy that we knew for sure was gonna. Like, we always had a guy that could handle business on the road.
The Shermanator?
When he played, I think he was that guy. Yeah, he was the guy.
I thought you played with Sherman.
Nah, he's a little bit before me.
A little bit before you. Okay.
So we always had a guy, and conveniently, he was always on my line, which was really nice. And
Riding shotgun.
Yep, and let me flap the lip a little more. And
Telephone tough guy.
and so other than him, he didn't want anybody going on the road. Like, he would get pissed at us for going on the road. You know, don't let him in it. Don't give him an opportunity, because he wanted to make sure someone was going to go on the road, they were going to win. At home, a little bit different. It was like anybody, you know, messes around, he would, you know, it's
green light.
It's green light.
It's the old green light.
Yeah. It was usually, you know, green light on 2-7. Who's got him? Somebody better say yes.
I sort of thought that with that thinking, that like I like the way that we want to play is constant pressure, and it's one thing we're really struggling with is players want to just stand around. It's like they've been taught to just stand around and do this, right? A to B, B to C, and that's not how the game. I want the game played where I constantly want to take the game to somebody else, at home or away.
Yeah.
So my feeling on that is to keep elaborating on your original question, which you just answered, is let's take it to them. And I don't care where we're at.
Yeah.
And now we have it, like if you played in the Boston Garden and then you played in Calgary, you're going from 175, 65 to 200 by 100. That's a different game.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's a totally, now every single sheet is 200 by 85. Yeah. So where's home ice advantage today? Like those old rinks?
Oh, man.
You better be prepared to go into some of those rinks. I remember all the ones I played in as a kid, Niagara Falls, you know, Guelph, all these ones that, oh my
Shoebox.
God. Toledo. Like Toledo, you used to have to, in your gear, you'd have to walk through the smoking section, through the crowd onto the ice. Like you got into Toledo. I was really proud that I scored goals in Toledo, because it was like, yeah, you know, because that one, dude, you got hit.
Did you stop and take a drag on the way out?
Yeah, you
Hey,
could.
pup.
But like that's sort of more to my thinking. But I do understand the thinking, and it's good.
You know, my philosophy is like yours, Joe. Like, if it's there, it's there. Go. You know, and when I played, I fought a lot. You know, I was a middleweight guy, and I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed win or lose. I just would love to do it. Now, would I was ever part of a stage fight? I probably was over the time, but I'm not a big fan of them, because honestly, those ones are when guys get hurt.
You get hurt. Yes.
You know, guys get hurt. It's because it's just okay.
I was
here
just
we go.
going to say my one stage one. Yeah, it still hurts.
You know, and
I
that's
still
the
rub my
reality.
head to this
Right.
day, and
You
it
know,
still hurts.
I remember I got pumped so bad at home one night in front of our crowd. There's like 6,000 people in there, and I got pumped bad. It wasn't staged. And this guy beat the snot out of me. I had 2 black eyes. Freaking, you could see bruises on my face, and I didn't fare very well.
So
That'll
here's
happen.
this one. So we're 16, 15.
Yeah.
I'm playing in Stratford. My best friend to this day, even to this day, Tom Stewart. Shout out to Tommy. Love you, man. And he's on the other team. Tommy's 6'4", and he was my street guy too, right?
Yeah.
So any trouble I got in, he always was my boy, right? To this day, still is. And he's on playing Brantford. So we're up 10-1.
Right on.
Stratford, right?
Close one.
We're draft year, right? Draft year. And I'm sitting in the crowd. That was back when the benches were across from one another. And I'm dangling my gloves over the board.
Up 10-1.
Up 10-1. Right? Up 10-1. And I'm like, okay, draft year, right? We're doing this. We're both draft eligible.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, hey, you ready? He's like, yep. So we go out. I don't know, a couple minutes left in the game. This is back before there was no fighting under 5, too, right? He used to take an hour to play last 5 minutes of hockey.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
And I hit him, oh my God, 6 times. Like, we're talking square. Whack. And then he hit me with one where that knuckle came right up, and it literally, I think he bruised my brain. He shoved my eyeball back in my brain, and I literally just grabbed on and said, okay, Tommy, that's enough.
We're good.
We're good. And I'm going to tell you, I could not rub my eye for 6 months. Like, your eye's itchy?
Yeah.
I couldn't even touch my eye. It was so sore. And I never did it again.
Wow.
And there I was like,
Mike,
enough
how
of
about
that.
you, Mike? You fight?
I got in a couple. That wasn't necessarily my role, but I was willing. You had to be still when I played. You know, Herm gave me some advice a long time ago. When I first started playing, he told me, you know, all you have to do for a fight is just show up. And he forgot to let me know that you can also win a couple. You don't have to just show up.
Yeah.
So I always showed up,
So,
Is there really ever a winner?
like
Good
I just love the crowds too, right? Like
I think that's
when
more
when
what
you
it's
fall
about,
and whoever
right?
lands on top wins the fight.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
not
yeah,
necessarily.
there's definitely
Yeah.
some winners. Like, there's definitely,
Yeah.
But like, I get it on Instagram all the time, and I watch these, and they just come up, and you just keep scrolling,
Yeah.
and they're so amazing, and what these guys did, and the roar of the crowd at 18,000 people, it's special times. But like, you see them all. Like, I watched last night. I watched Aaron Asham versus the guy who played in Jersey from St. Louis.
Cam Jansen.
Cam Jansen. That came by yours last night?
No, but I know exactly which fight you're
but
talking about.
They never once hit one another.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, right at the end, Cam, it looked like was going to win, and then there was no contact, and then he sort of got off balance, and Asham threw one, and Cam fell. Now, was it exciting? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I want to be in that fight? no,
No.
not with those two boys.
No.
But certainly Jansen, and I know how tough Asham was, but like it was like that's entertaining, and it was awesome. But you'd rather see it like that than somebody get hurt.
Yeah, but and for the fans that say that they don't like to see it in the games, they're the first ones sitting up there like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nobody can look away from fighting.
Nobody can.
Hey,
But anyway.
I have a philosophy. I'm a believer that every person, and after working in corporate America for a while, let me tell you, I'm a firm believer that everybody needs to be punched in the face one time so that they understand that there's repercussions.
Well,
for
that's
things.
what's wrong with our world.
Yeah.
Is there's the mic? You hit the nail on the head. There's not. Like I have a gentleman that worked for us, Scotty Bridges. Scotty Bridges' son played for us. Played 15 games and played great. Next year, I think got 1 goal all year.
Yeah.
And Scotty, major junior guy, and Scotty would say Zach needs to get into a fight. This is his dad, because I remember that for me was I don't know what. I mean, I'd fought some in junior hockey because I played so much junior hockey, but major junior.
Yeah.
And I fought Jeff Smith in Owen Sound in game number 3 or 4 of my year. But the minute I did that, I believed in myself. And it was more about, hey, I can do this, and I can handle the repercussions. Where you say people need to get punched in the face. Yeah, because there isn't any repercussions.
And like
right.
I'm a believer too. Like every player that plays at a certain level, whatever, junior and on, should get in a fight.
Yeah.
Just
One.
to get it out of their system, to understand like it's not that bad, but to understand what it takes to do it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Lay it
And
on the
you,
line.
you just have a completely different feel for the game and respect for the game and the player and that particular event.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
Without a doubt.
but you get it out of win or lose, show up, right? And preferably win, but you can't lose that bad unless you're an idiot and you stand in there and take it.
Well, the other thing,
Unless it's a lucky one, like the guy just pops you one and
But-
knocks you out. It is what it is. But if you stand in there and go toe to toe and you get hit, you're an idiot.
You're better off taking a punch in a fight like that, learning how to defend yourself, than never fighting. All of a sudden, you get jumped and you have no idea how to
no one
defend
is
yourself.
no one is going to complain or say anything because you lose a fight.
no.
They're going to say something like, "Dude, really?"
Okay,
I
I
got-
saw something
I got
yesterday.
one of those.
I saw something yesterday. I shouldn't even say this. I saw something yesterday in my practice, and not that this is being heard around the world, but when you're evaluating what people do and don't do.
Yeah.
So we had a player. We're stuck a B player in the mouth, and it was right in front of me. And we were doing a compete drill, and I was standing off the ice. Like I thought, where's the safest place to watch this drill from?
Yeah.
There's a little drill in the corner. And so I stepped. I got all the mats out, right, to make the square, to make the 2v2 square.
The cage.
Yeah, the cage. And I said, you know what? The safest place is right here. So I stood there. This player, A player, hit B player, and he hit him in the mouth. Well, what does the player do that gets hit in the mouth, right? He automatically brings his hands up like this, right? So this B player does this, and then A player cross-checks B player, like his arms come up, and then he cross-checks him across the arms and the mouth.
Yeah.
Knocks him on to his back. Like, I mean, literally, like,
Yeah.
and B player got up and did nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? So my point in that
It's
is
going to happen again to him.
it's going to happen again to him, but you're earning your spot and your respect on a hockey team. So you got to get up and answer that bell. You don't got to necessarily fight him, but you got to get into his grill and say, hey, bud,
That's not acceptable.
That's not acceptable. You can't do that. I know we're all earning jobs here, but that's like he didn't even do it. So now I'm looking at B player going.
What's he going to do in 2 minutes when you're down by one?
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like everything. There's repercussions to everything that we're doing, and some of us have one way of thinking about it. Others got others. But at the end, it all equals the same thing: is what are you willing to do to be a teammate and to be part of something bigger than yourself? And so now I'm watching, and I really like this B player. But now I'm questioning things. It doesn't mean he's leaving, but
it's one of those.
It's just one of those things. So it's an interesting topic. We could talk about it a long time.
Yeah.
Moving on. Obviously, this coming weekend is big. Well, the next 18 days for you, Joe, is big. But Mikey, this weekend, home opener at home, Texas Brahmas.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping for you, brother.
Well, I really so. We're on the same team.
I know, but it's personal. Like I want to see him do really well. Number one, I know he's from here. I want to see him kick it out of the park, and I'm sorry that I can't be here to see game one. I can't be here to see any of your first 8 games. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all right.
I won't be here for podcast 35, 36, or 37.
So Joe will be back in 47.
But in the meantime, I wish you well. I really do. I really get her done, man. I know. I'm. You know what? Comparing to my first 2 years, I sit in my office, and there was a lot of days last year where I just never heard anything. And I come in every day, and there's a lot of juice on that ice, man. And I give you props for whatever you are doing, because I'm not watching, I'm working, but I'm hearing it. So I wish you well. I wish you well.
It'll be good, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm super excited for you.
I got something. I got something planned on my special things for when you win your first one.
Fair enough.
I got something.
I know.
Okay.
I can't be here.
So obviously been practicing for 2 weeks. Guys are coming in. A couple guys, whatever, leaving, I guess.
No, that you just add.
You just add.
Yeah, we just added a couple.
Just added
We're
a
at
couple.
38.
We're still got 47. But
never miss an opportunity to get better.
And that's a fine line, right?
Yep.
Nothing's for sure until it's for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and people wonder why, right? You just answered a question. We're like, well, you went through 80 guys. Yeah. Well, you never miss an opportunity to get better. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Nothing's finalized until February 10th.
Yeah.
Or whatever the date is.
Yeah.
No, we're excited. I mean, it's a process. Like that's all I'm going to say. It's a process. Every day is different. Yesterday was ugly. There was a little bit of accountability that needed to be dished out across the board. And then today, at the end of the day, it's about how they respond. And today, the response was great. I really liked the practice. I like the direction that we're trending. But you never know till you know. And until we see them on the ice on Friday, that's where we'll know we're at. There's the first benchmark, and then we know how to get better from there. But it's hard to know right now. But I like the juice. I like to compete. Guys are starting to buy in and figure out how to be a Rhino.
Well, the Brahmas are obviously they're going to be coming in pretty good because they do a good job up there from their North American team to the NA3 team. Their organization does really good things, so it'll be a good test. That is for sure.
Yeah, I expect them to have a good roster. I know they got a D-man on that roster. I forget the kid's first name. Last name's Garvey. He was here through our training camp with the North American League team. Kid's a player. I mean, he was close, to sticking around here, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at our level. And a couple other guys on their roster, they have some talent, and Chad Bailey does a good job over there. So expect nothing less than for them to come in.
Well, you better take it to your buddy Chad.
No. It's not Chad either. It's Chaz. Michael McMichael.
Chad, you better take it to Chaz. Hey, Chaz, if you're listening, we're going to take it to you, buddy.
That's right.
Chazinator.
That's right. We go back to the ACHA days, and so he's got a little.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's got a little revenge coming towards us. So
it'll make it for an interesting weekend because it is somewhat of a rivalry. Anytime we play the Brahmas at whatever level, it's always a good one.
Yeah.
So best of luck to you there.
Appreciate that.
And from the response from the community, should be pretty good crowds in here. Home openers, and it'll be good.
Dude, I'm Mexican, so obviously I got a big family. That just kind of comes with the territory.
Hey, do you speak Spanish?
Poquito. Not very much.
Terrible.
What is that?
That's terrible.
Do
that's
you?
A little bit.
It's a little bit.
I'm not Mexican.
I know, but you worked over there, so I'm just asking.
I speak Spanish.
Fluent?
Yeah, man, like a freaking glove.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
I forgot where I was. Oh, I got 20 family members coming on Saturday to the game.
I know. I put in the ticket request. I'm like, holy moly, Mike, what do you think? You're the coach?
And I'll be honest, I don't know if one of them saw me play a game when I played here. and now that I'm just standing there and there's nothing to really watch, they're here. But I love it. I love it.
That'll be good, man. You know, I'll make sure to send you over a payroll deduct for all those tickets.
Perfect.
But yeah, man.
The funny part is he's not kidding.
Yes, I am, Joe. What are you making fun of me for? This is how you guys played last weekend.
Joe, and then moving over to you, we got 5 minutes here, guys. We're going to kind of cut it short. Not short, but 18 days. Starting Thursday morning. Should be fun. You know,
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake, man.
Yeah.
You know? Did you bring? Are you bringing your donut? I'm not the doc. I'm not talking the one you're eating. I'm talking the one you sit on.
No, I'm not. I'm looking for a expanded donut.
You've lost weight, Joe.
No, I know.
You're not getting bigger.
I'm. We in fact, I went to Walmart yesterday, looked for a. I've never done this before on all the bus. I've probably been 1.5 miles on a bus, probably. Yeah, maybe 2. Never worried about anything but a pillow and a blanket, and until now.
Foam pad.
Well, you get a little older too,
so
right?
our bus driver, right? Yeah, that's the other thing. So our bus driver this weekend had this pad that was.
You think he would know it all,
right?
Being real.
No, I know Joel,
Yeah.
right? He's great,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. So I looked at the whole thing and got the name of it, and I cannot find it. So I went yesterday, and I'm looking for and I'm really they're pillow toppers, they're cot toppers, camping mats, and I'm not finding this particular thing that he had that I really want.
What is it that he had?
It was just a twin sized mat, but it was firm enough at only 2 inches that the seatbelt won't dig into your ribs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it sort of
high.
straightens you out a little bit. It wasn't anything, like made for. It was just this pad that he had. Somebody had given it to him. He said, and because I asked him, and I really want the same one or very similar to what he had, and I'm having trouble tracking it down. I'm going to make a trip to Target today and maybe Camping World or Babies R Us, maybe like a like a crib
maybe some Home
topper, like
Depot.
I don't know, like Home Depot had something too. And I don't know. I'm going to make my rounds.
What about those milk crate foamies?
Yeah, they and see that's the easy solution. But this thing that he had, I'm telling you, it was like wrapped in a quilted. Like it.
I wonder if you got it in water.
It wasn't as totally flexible like a milk crate would form any way you want it. This was a little stiffer but comfortable, where it sort of makes all the nooks and crannies of laying there sort of straighten you out, like a little flat. It was cool as can be.
So are you legs across, or you sleep sitting up?
No, my legs are crossed.
Yeah, they gotta be. Have you seen those inflatable ones? The ones that, so like if the seats are here, the inflatable piece comes over and then it goes all the way down to the ground. So you basically create a flat bed all the way across to the seat in front of you.
I have not, but I'm going to tell you something. Of all the bus rides that I'm on all the years, I have looked at this. Like I thought maybe a hammock where you could hang off the back of seats. Like nobody's come up with anything. I can't find it.
Yeah.
So whatever you just spoke about there, I'd love to hear more when we're over, because I got to do something for 18 days.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, on your 18 days on the road trip, maybe you can look and research and find something out.
Maybe I'll come back and
maybe we can
millionaire
start.
after
We can start
inventing
something. Don't forget the little guys that are talking
Plan
about this.
B,
with
eh?
you.
Well, yeah. Once you get it figured out, then we can just schedule another one for next year. So you're ready to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely, but starts
hire you.
Thursday. Starts yeah.
Mike, enjoy your first trip.
Starts Thursday on the road. Joe taking off, and it'll be an interesting, dynamic for the start of the season for the NA. Guys going on the road again. Mikey, you're here at home. Should be a lot of fun. I know both his teams support one another. And I know your short time here, Mikey, you said some good things with Joe, and you're kind of learning a little bit from him. And I know, Joe, you're obviously an open book to anybody that wants to learn, which is great. And
I've learned from Mike. I went in yesterday and asked him about something. In fact, the drill there, he was his.
so
I got the kid cross check. Perfect.
That's why I did it, because I'm not taking any accountability for that. I already get in enough trouble myself. So.
Well, yeah, Joe. So good luck.
Thank you.
18
We'll
days.
see you in episode 54.
Yeah, man. We'll hopefully we'll still be doing it. And Mikey, best of luck to you this weekend
good luck,
on
man.
your first set of junior games, man. Wish you all the best.
You're going to have a lot of success, man.
So
Take
anybody
it easy.
listening,
You'll be fine.
guys, Friday, September 20th, 7 p.m. versus the Texas Brahmas. Mikey's debut. Joe's going to be on the road, probably
Forever.
785
See you
miles.
at Christmas.
At that point in time. So until then, guys, Joe, we'll see you when you get back. Best of luck. Mikey, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.